Hi, have you ever done something nice for somebody, and then later on, when you recognize that you too benefited from your kind service, did you later discredit yourself as if somehow your act was somehow less kind? If so, I think you're really going to enjoy some of the insights in today's video. And another question, actually, that we might want to address, it's equally important, is are these shadows on my face going to drive you as crazy as they're going to drive me, or is that just my photographer's ego getting in the way? I'm still figuring out the video thing. We might not have a chance to address that question today. But back to my original question. I had a recent breakthrough, an aha moment about this. I've been chewing on it a lot lately, and then when I was in a public restroom and I heard a Lady Gaga song, I had a breakthrough, a bit of an epiphany as to my perspective on this topic. So, let's set the stage here first. I think we can all agree that for anything nice that we do for somebody else, we always stand to benefit. There are a lot of different ways that people benefit from doing something nice for somebody else. Sometimes they really are ego-driven. Sometimes, and what I mean when I say ego-driven is that sometimes people do nice things for others because they want to be seen as somebody who does nice things for others. But even with the most kind-hearted and selfless acts, there's always an element of self-benefit. A little side note here, there's a scientific study that's been done that shows that when you do something nice for somebody, not only does the recipient's happiness go up a measurable amount, but your own happiness goes up measurably, and the happiness of anybody observing your act also goes up. So if you're ever in a slump or you're feeling kind of down, that's a nice, really quick way to boost your own happiness, is to just do something nice for somebody else. I learned that via Brian Johnson, but I don't remember which scientist did the study. Sorry about that. But of all the ways that we stand to benefit from helping other people, the way that I want, the part of this that I want to focus on today is that when we do something nice for somebody else, we stand to gain by feeling significant afterwards. And what I want to examine is that feeling of significance. Does that necessarily cast a gray cloud over the kind act that we did? Does it somehow make it less noble, or less kind? Does that inherently make our act of service somehow egotistical? So in contemplating this, I think we need to first take a step back and ask ourselves a question. If this is something that you're debating about, something that you've done recently, can you first ask yourself, when you were motivated to do this for the person, were you more motivated by a desire to feel significant, or were you more motivated by a desire to serve? And the reason I ask this is not because there's anything wrong with wanting to feel significant. In fact, if you gain significance through doing kind things for others, I think there's cause for celebration here. There are much worse ways of finding significance in this world. So that's not the reason I ask the question. The reason I ask the question is because look at these shadows. Craziness. If the craving for significance was more of a motivator for you, that is such a great piece of information to have, because it illuminates where you might be able to do some self-development. It illuminates where you may need self-love a little bit more. How can you get yourself to a place where, yes, you still want to do kind things for others, but you also recognize that you as a person, you are good, you are wonderful, and you are divine. You are wonderful regardless of whether you are doing kind things for other people. Your goodness does not hinge upon your service. Yes, that's my thought on that. Okay, so now, once we've asked ourselves this question, and let's take, for example, any act of service which was done from a healthy place of self-love and was done with service in mind to the other person. Because the person who does the act of service is going to attain a feeling of significance from that act, is that craving for significance bad? Okay. I recently, in taking a class with Maston Kipp, he had talked about 6 human needs, 6 basic fundamental human needs. He learned these through Tony Robbins. And when he described the needs, I misinterpreted. I think I misinterpreted these needs. 2 of the needs, one of them being a craving, the human need for significance, the other being a human need for connection. He described how these can often conflict with each other, because in trying to achieve significance, it's easy to get caught up so much in achievement that we lose focus on the things that are the love and the connection that's very important to us in our life. So when he framed those as being in conflict with each other, I misinterpreted it and saw a craving for significance as like a negative aspect of human nature, something that we're supposed to be getting away from. This is where the Lady Gaga song comes in. Let me make sure I'm just not forgetting anything before I get to that. Nope, I am not. So, this is the question I was chewing on. Is this need for significance a quote-unquote bad part of our humanity? And then the Lady Gaga song that I had heard in the restroom was, "Baby, I Was Born This Way." And that's when it all hit me. Baby, I was born this way. I think about all of the things that, the miraculous creatures that we are as humans, and anything in nature. Everything seems to have been put there for a reason, a purpose, for preserving humanity, for helping humanity to evolve. Like if you go right down to the fact that a woman's hips are wider than a man's because that will help her to bear children, or the fact that our eyebrows keep sweat out of our eyes if we're running and trying to escape a lion that's chasing us. Anything, even pessimism was put there by nature, because by focusing on negative things, we somehow believe it's kind of this is a very antiquated thing. It's something that we need to evolve from. But focusing on negative things, that was a way in our history for us to help ourselves, to defend ourselves. So, in recognizing that everything really was put here as a means of protecting our species and evolving it, that's when I recognized that even a craving for significance is a good thing, a very good thing, so long as it is satisfied in a kind and loving way. Again, there are very unhealthy ways of achieving significance. A person with holding a gun is feeling significant. But if we are seeking significance and we're seeking it in a way that helps other people, that is a beautiful thing. That's a glorious thing. It's a thing to be treasured. It's not something that should be seen in a negative light. In conclusion, I had heard a quote. I do not remember where I read it or who said it, or even whether it was used in a negative or positive context at the time. But the thing that stuck in my head about it was that somebody had said that acts of service are the most hedonistic thing that we can do. Hedonistic meaning bringing self-pleasure. And hedonistic is often seen in a negative light. But if we think of this, acts of service are the most hedonistic thing that we can do, if they are the kindest thing, if they can bring us happiness and happiness to the world, thank God, thank universe for that. Thank goodness we crave significance. Thank goodness that drives people to do nice things for each other. It is a wonderful thing. It's a thing to be celebrated. And if you do struggle with that question of whether or not your kind acts of service are somehow less kind or less wonderful because you benefited from them too, then I hope that this video has helped you to realize that you are divine and wonderful, and to feel better about yourself and about your acts. If this has helped you, or if you can think of anybody who would benefit from this, then I would love, and I think they would love, if you could forward this on to them. Have a wonderful day, friends, and I will see you soon.